Hello and welcome to this video on how to level up your English with smarter word choices. Today, we're going to look at common phrases we use in everyday conversations, like very hot and very tired, and how you can replace them with more expressive alternatives. We'll cover everything from explanations and sentence transformations to quizzes and short reading exercises. By the end, you'll feel more confident in your ability to use advanced vocabulary. Let's get started. Don't say very, boost your vocabulary with simple changes. Let's begin. Don't say very weak. Say frail. Frail. Using stronger vocabulary makes your speech and writing more precise. Instead of saying very weak, choose a more specific word like frail when referring to a person's physical condition, or feeble when describing strength. Synonyms. In this section, we will explore synonyms along with examples to better understand their contextual usage. Very weak, frail, feeble, delicate, brittle, infirm. Frail. The elderly woman looked frail after her long illness, needing assistance to walk. Feeble. His voice was so feeble that we could barely hear his words. Delicate. The child was born premature and remained delicate for months. Brittle. After weeks of malnutrition, his bones became brittle and prone to fractures. Infirm. The infirm patients at the nursing home required constant care. Sentence transformation examples. In this section, we will examine the original sentences and match them with their transformed versions. James was very weak after surgery. The baby's immune system is very weak. The old man looked very weak and tired. After weeks in bed, Natalie felt very weak. The bridge's structure is very weak. The old man looked infirm and tired. The baby's immune system is delicate. The bridge's structure is brittle. James was frail after surgery. After weeks in bed, Natalie felt feeble. Let's test our knowledge with quizzes based on what we have already learnt. 1. After being sick for weeks, Sarah looked blank. A. Tedious. B. Frail. C. Very weak. 2. His handshake was so blank that I barely felt it. A. Delicate. B. A very weak. C. Harsh. 3. The glass sculpture was extremely blank, requiring careful handling. A. Sturdy. B. A very weak. C. Brittle. Four. After the accident, his movements became slow and blank. A. Very weak. B. Feeble. C. Thrilling. 5. The blank man needed assistance to cross the street. A. Infirm. B. Tedious. C. Very weak. 6. Which of the following is a synonym for very weak? A. Robust. B. Thrilling. C. Brittle. Let's listen to a short reading text and focus on the words we have learnt. Quinn's grandmother had always been an independent woman, but after falling ill, she became frail and struggled to move without help. Her once strong hands now felt feeble, barely able to hold a teacup. The doctors warned that her bones had grown brittle, making her more vulnerable to injuries. Despite her delicate condition, she remained cheerful, and her family supported her every step. Even though she was infirm, she continued to share wisdom and stories with her grandchildren. As the days passed, Quinn noticed how much effort it took for her grandmother to walk across the room. She would often pause, catching her breath, her feeble frame leaning against the furniture for support. The once vibrant woman who loved gardening now needed help even to water her plants. On cold mornings, her brittle fingers would tremble as she wrapped them around a warm cup of tea. Yet, despite her delicate health, she never complained, always reminding her family to cherish every moment together. Frail. Don't use very weak, use frail, to describe someone with delicate health or physical weakness. Let's proceed with a new one. Don't say, very boring. Say, tedious. Tedious. Instead of saying very boring, use tedious for repetitive tasks, monotonous for a dull routine, or dull for uninteresting content. Synonyms. In this section, we will explore synonyms along with examples to better understand their contextual usage. Very boring. Tedious. Monotonous. Dull. Mundane. Drab. Tedious. The meeting was so tedious that I struggled to stay awake. Monotonous. His job involved monotonous tasks like entering data for hours. Dull. The professor's lecture was incredibly dull, making it hard to concentrate. Mundane. Alice wanted excitement in life, but her routine felt too mundane. Drab. The movie had a drab plot, and the characters lacked energy. Sentence transformation examples. In this section, we will examine the original sentences and match them with their transformed versions. My daily routine is very boring. This task is very boring because it repeats too much. The film was very boring and colorless. The work felt very boring and repetitive. The book was very boring and lacked excitement. This task is tedious because it repeats too much. The work felt mundane and repetitive. My daily routine is monotonous. The book was dull and lacked excitement. The film was drab and colorless. Let's test our knowledge with quizzes based on what we have already learnt. One. The presentation was long and blank, making it hard to stay focused. A. Robust. B. Tedious. C. Very boring. 2. The factory job was extremely blank, with no variety in the tasks. A. Very boring. B. Frail. C. Monotonous. 3. The weather was grey, and the scenery looked blank. A. Drab. B. Delicate. C. Very boring. Four. The teacher's voice was so blank that half the class fell asleep. A. Very boring. B. Thrilling. C. Dull. 5. Which of the following is a synonym for very boring? A. Tedious. B. Feeble. C. Robust. 6. His job felt blank because he did the same thing every day. A. Mundane. B. Perilous. C. Very boring. Let's listen to a short reading text and focus on the words we have learnt. Owen sat in his office, staring at the screen as he completed yet another tedious report. His work had become so monotonous that he could predict every step. The once exciting projects now felt dull, and he found himself longing for something more engaging. Each day followed the same mundane routine: emails, meetings, and paperwork. Even the office walls looked drab, making him feel trapped in an endless cycle of repetition. The clock on the wall seemed to move in slow motion, adding to his frustration. He sighed as he opened another spreadsheet, dreading the hours of tedious calculations ahead. His colleagues, equally unenthusiastic, barely spoke, making the atmosphere even more dull. Every day felt like a copy of the one before, leaving him stuck in an uninspiring and monotonous routine. Deep down, he knew he needed a change, something that would break the drab pattern of his current life. Tedious. Don't use very boring, use tedious to describe long and repetitive activities that feel exhausting. That's it for today's lesson. Remember, small changes in your word choices can make a big difference in how fluent and natural your English sounds. Practice using these new synonyms, try the quizzes, and don't forget to transform those basic sentences into more descriptive ones. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more language tips and exercises. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.